What's going on, America? I'm the Right Winged Angel out of Mac, and in this video, we're going to talk about one of the most disgusting acts of pure evil I've ever seen. A 20-year-old mother was lynched by 8 of her friends, and her name was Mahogany Jackson. And the reason that you have not heard of this story is because Mahogany Jackson is black, and the 8 people who lynched her were also black. Now, when you first heard about this, you probably thought Mahogany Jackson was lynched by some white racist hillbillies. Nope. She was lynched by 8 people who look just like her. And we see these stories far too many times, but this one takes the cake. Let's check this out.
The details that you heard today in court are disturbing and heartbreaking.
Yeah, Morgan, that is right. This case is beyond disturbing, and it was an emotional day in court. Now, one of the saddest details I learned today is that Mahogany Jackson came to the first location thinking these people were her friends. Investigators say they then tortured her, and the things that were described are why Judge Keisha Davis says she denied all of these suspects a bond. Now, Birmingham Police Homicide Detective Mark Green says the first stop was the home of suspect Brandon Pope. Now, that's where Jackson was beaten outside while she was naked. Officers say some of the suspects beat her while others recorded the beatings. Now, Jackson was stomped and kicked, and then prosecutors say one of the suspects can be heard saying, "Put her in the trunk," and then she was dragged naked in the street. Now, Jackson was taken to a second location, and I want to warn you, this will be hard to hear. Prosecutors say Jackson was sexually assaulted at gunpoint. Officials say she was handcuffed, beaten, pistol whipped, and then spat on. Now, Jackson's family, including her mother, were present in court today, and as they read out the evidence, you could hear them getting very emotional.
I just had to stop it right there. I want you guys to think about something. What if this was your daughter? What if you were sitting in that court and had to hear all the things that your daughter's so-called friends did to her before they killed her? She was shot in the back of the head, execution style. That's what they did to her. There is nothing that I could imagine that this young woman could have done to deserve any of this, not even a small fraction of what they did to her. But for some people, a life is not precious. A life is worth nothing. Some people are pure evil. And it's sad that, let's be honest, in my community, we don't value life nearly as much as we should. So you hear about stories like this, maybe not to this extreme, but there are people who are killed every day in the black community. And when I say people, multiple people who are killed every day in the black community. Nobody is spared. Nobody is given any sort of grace in the black community. If someone feels like you need to go, then they're going to take you out. No questions asked. They don't even give it a second thought. And 8 people participated in this heinous act, and they all just let it happen. They all just participated. Some of them recorded it. Who raises people like this? And unfortunately, I know that all these people came up in the most horrible environments imaginable. And I always blame the parents for this. But when you become an adult, you got to make your own decisions. You got to know what's right from wrong, but despite how your parents raised you. And obviously, these young people were raised in the worst conditions by the worst people possible to do this to this young mother. And I'm going to show you some pictures of Mahogany and her child, just so you can see. I want you to really feel this story, because I am saddened not only by the story, but by the lack of media coverage. And you know why there's a lack of media coverage here.
DA Danny Carr says, though, this will be a long road to get justice for Mahogany, and he also explains why only 5 out of the 8 suspects were present today for the Anais Law hearing.
The individuals that are charged with capital murder, obviously, the law, the statute and the rules of criminal procedure says that their bond can be set at a no bond automatically. The individuals that are charged with felony murder, the statute requires a hearing. The next step, obviously, is there'll be further investigation with Birmingham Police Department.
Yeah, another sad thing we learned today was that the suspects wanted the password to Mahogany Jackson's phone. Officials say they even told her if she gave it to them, they would let her go, only to kill her anyway.
All right. They wanted the password to her phone. Why? It's her phone. It's her personal property. She doesn't have to give up the password. Why do they want her password? There's been some speculation, and I posted this story on my Instagram. Y'all go check out my Instagram, the rightwingedangel. I posted this story. I sat on this story for like a week because I was trying to find a motive. I'm like, what could possibly possess these people to do this to this young woman? So I wanted to get into the mind of these deranged psychos to see why they did it. And during my research and talking to people who live in the area, there was really nothing substantial that came up. It was, some people said it was because she snitched on some people in this group. Is snitching a cause for capital punishment? Is snitching a cause for somebody to be killed? Well, in certain communities, I guess so, right? They say stitches get stitches. Well, I guess snitches get buried too. Snitches get tortured. Snitches get, I can't even say the word, but they didn't even mention it on the news broadcast, but she was actually, something was placed in an exit hole, if you know what I mean, before she was killed. So all these things they did to her because she was a snitch, supposedly. Or some people say that they wanted her income tax money. Maybe she owed them money. Is that a reason to do this to her? Nope, not at all. So none of these motives that were suggested made any sense. Mahogany Jackson was killed for no good reason whatsoever. And these are the people who did it. Every single one of them is black. So they did this to a fellow black woman. What happened to Black Lives Matter? Does that not matter? When somebody has wronged you that is your color? I guarantee you, if this story had been a group of 8 white people who did this to this young black woman, I guarantee you it would be the biggest story of the past 10 years. Bigger than probably George Floyd. Guaranteed. But since it's a group of black people doing this to another black person, nothing. We get crickets. And it's extremely sad. And I feel so sad for this young woman. I feel so sad for her family. They did not deserve this. She did not deserve this. But it's too often that the black community takes life for granted. It's too often that the black community decides to kill other black people for no good reason whatsoever. People have been killed in my city of New Orleans just for stepping on somebody's shoes. Anytime somebody who's black feels disrespected, they have to annihilate someone. It is unreal what I've seen in my 41 years on this earth. And I'm tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing stories like what happened to Mahogany Jackson. I'm tired of seeing stories like what happened to so many people that I know personally. I can't count on 2 hands the amount of people that I know personally that have been murdered. So I'm tired of it. I'm tired of seeing these news stories, and I'm tired of seeing what we do to each other. How can I expect that other races are supposed to value our lives if we don't value our own? And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.